Let's talk now then to Susan Hall, Chair of the Police and Crime Committee at the London Assembly. Susan, a very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike.
I mean, I don't think anyone is that surprised at what has come out of this particular report, but what I've been saying this morning, Susan, is that all these police officers who say how sorry they are, and I include Mark Rowley in this because he was in it at the time when some of this stuff was going on, they don't seem to have been aware very much of what was going on inside their own organisation. And I know that it's a big organisation, but surely they should have been better at seeing what was going on beneath their very feet, as it were.
Well, one would have hoped so, and one would hope that in the future they are. But I think there's 35,000 police officers, uniformed police officers, around 10,000 other staff. It is a massive organisation. And if you're in a neighbourhood policing unit, for instance, that works really well, and so very many of them do, you might not see any of this going on. It's certainly the worst things seem to have been going on in these specialist units,
yeah.
Firearms units and the protection units.
Yeah.
I mean, that part of the report, it's eye-watering. I mean, there's no doubt that Mark Rowley has got a really big job ahead, and he has got to succeed in this for everybody's sake, quite frankly.
Yes, indeed. And so would it seem to you then that some of those specialist units, like the diplomatic squad where Wayne Couzens was, and maybe some of the armed police units, are kind of left alone because they're doing specific tasks, or because they're able to carry guns and so they're considered to be kind of untouchable? Is that what was going on?
Reading the report, one would get that impression. Certainly some of us that know some of these officers are astonished by what we're reading and saddened by it. I mean, Mark Rowley said, when you read the report, there are so many different emotions. And yes, I can completely recognise that, because we all want the Metropolitan Police to do well. We all need it to do well. We need our police officers, and we need a good running police service. That's why police officers aren't allowed to strike, because they are absolutely necessary for us to function as a democratic society. So I only hope that everybody assists as they can. The staff, everybody he employs, has got to really buy into this and do what they can from within. And certainly wherever else, we all need to hope that it changes, to monitor what it's doing so that it can change. But there will be units within the police that haven't been aware of this. If they've stayed more or less in the same job in a unit of people that are working well, then there's no reason they would have come across it.
No, of course. And I mean, what's Sadiq's Khan role in all of this? Because nobody's quite sure. He's kind of titularly in charge of the Metropolitan Police, is he not? Or at least he's in a position to influence who gets what job. Is he bearing any responsibility in any of this?
Well, he is the Police and Crime Commissioner of London, which I point out on many occasions. Yes. We all know Sadiq Khan will never take responsibility for anything. He never has done. He has a great big organisation, MOPAC, which is supposed to oversee the Met, and I do wonder what's been going on. We've got a big committee tomorrow where we've got Baroness Casey coming, and the Deputy Mayor for Policing, Sophie Linden. She's supposed to be keeping an eye on all this, and I do wonder what she's been doing in all of this, and why she wasn't more aware of what was going on. But yes, of course, Sadiq Khan must take some responsibility. He can't just shirk this one off.
Well, no, I mean, he's saying this morning that it's a very dark day, as though it's got nothing to do with him, and that somehow he asked for this commission to do this report, and he seems to be distancing himself from it every chance he can get.
Well, that's what he will do. I think it was Sadiq that actually asked for this report, and he'll claim he did.
Right.
You know what he's like, Mike. I mean, but he actually has to look at this, and he has to look in the mirror and think, what am I responsible for? Right. And the main thing is the police.
Because the people of London deserve better, and I think actually the police individually deserve better management, because the police individually in the Metropolitan Police are good people. You know, they're doing a hard job, they're facing dangerous situations on any given day, and I don't want to see them taking the brunt of the blame for all of this. But I was saying to Stuart Jackson a little while ago, you know, the sort of breakdown of the old-fashioned police model, where you had local police stations, where you had people, if not walking around on the beat, certainly driving around, and you just don't see any of that now. You know, I challenged him, even in the rest of the country, to find somebody who can say, I know my local police station is open, I know I can go and report a crime there, because you can't.
No, I think one of the biggest mistakes, and I know that certainly Lord Greenhalgh was definitely against it, was the opening of the BCUs, the borough command units, as opposed to having your own person in charge of each borough, a borough commander. That worked really well because that person could work with the local councils, the local fire brigade, and you had a much better joined up working arrangement between all the emergency services and the councils, etc. I was very much against that being put in, and it's something that she has highlighted here. I have spoken in the past to Sir Mark Rowley about this, as I did to Cressida Dick, because I think the trust and confidence has plummeted since we brought in what we call the BCUs.
But we've been hearing this for years now. And I mean, I know that Wayne Couzens was a specifically ghastly incident and a horrible thing that happened. But, you know, we've been having one of these reports of every few years for a while now, going all the way back to the McPherson report, you know, in the 90s. And it doesn't seem to have changed anything.
Things have changed within the police force. There's no doubt about that. But it needs to change even more and quicker. It's like a massive tanker going along, and there are really big changes that have got to take place. And Mark Rowley has admitted this. He's said he's up for the challenge. And Lynn, his deputy, is extremely good. They are seasoned police officers, if you like. They know how things work, and they have got to get to grips with it, because the public, quite rightfully, won't put up with it. But the thing I worry about is that, you know, that the babies will go out with the dishwasher water, because there are so many good police officers out there. They feel this really badly, and we don't want them leaving. We've got a real recruitment problem as it is now anyway.
No, exactly.
And we need the police.
Well, Baroness Casey told TalkTV's Kate McCann, TalkTV's political editor, that there was a toxic male environment at the Met.
There are parts of the Met Police that are a boys' club, and, you know, I've laid that bare in the report. I think that there are elements that are almost completely white and male, and that needs to change.
And do you believe that there could still be other Wayne Couzens in the Met Police at the moment today?
I do not think I can assure you, all the people watching this programme, that without any, that is not an impossible thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you fix all of that overnight. I mean, you're talking about a long road. Do you think it would be best to start again and break it up? Or do you agree with Stuart Jackson that wouldn't be good?
No, it wouldn't be good. It really wouldn't be good. First of all, you can't stop it and start it again. We need police. We need police on the streets every single day, being heroes, as so many of them are. I mean, we forget that. We need to deal with it as it moves along, because it just can't be stopped just there and look to see if we can get a better model. That's not how life works. Of course, nobody can guarantee that there isn't another Wayne Couzens out there. There's 35,000 warranted officers out there. Of course they can't, and I think it'll get worse before it gets better, as Sir Mark and his top team are trying to pull out the ones that, you know, shouldn't be in there. Right. I mean, the other thing that we mustn't forget is that Mark Rowley can't just sack people like you could if you were running a business. I think something like 8,800 are on restricted duty.
Well, maybe that should change. Maybe you should be able to sack people who have been, particularly those who have been found guilty of criminal acts. It seems bizarre to most ordinary people that you could be a criminal and a police officer at the same time.
Yes, but the Home Secretary is looking into that. I spoke to Chris Philp, the policing minister, about that a couple of times now. They're looking to see how they can change that, and change it they must, because if you know you've got a wrong one, especially working for the police service, you need to get rid of that person. We can't be having them on restricted duties.
Well, there's not many jobs. There's not many jobs you can hold on to if you've got a criminal conviction, particularly if it's quite a serious offence. And it's rather odd that the one place you can stay in your job is as a police officer.
Absolutely. I mean, the Commissioner of the Fire Brigade actually said he was in a much better position than Mark Rowley, because he could get rid of firefighters that shouldn't be there, whereas Mark Rowley can't do it. He has got to be given the authority to be able to do that, and that has to come really high up on the list, so that he can deal with these officers, because until he gets rid of the ones that they know are a problem, we can't turn the corner, and he is absolutely determined to. I know he will. OK.
Susan, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Susan Hall, Chair of the Police and Crime Committee at London Assembly, Leader of the Tories there as well.